because my fucking shit decided to fucking take a shit. All right, well, we're going back.
This is more. This is a complete gym hiding in plain sight. Introducing the.
Like we covered in the pre-show, they consistently bring it in big. Covered in the pre-show, they consistently bring it in big playoff moments. They were very competitive in 2020, won multiple stage titles, and now they've been in 2 stages in 2021 as well. I'm expecting great things from the Shanghai Dragons, even though the Dallas Fuel are favored here.
Yeah, I'm definitely very interested to see what they have in store for us. I mean, the 2 things we so far established is maybe play Torp or just play better lol. That's as far as we got with downloading the Dallas Fuel. Now let's head on over to our casters, Uber and Mr. X. Everyone on the desk went Dallas Fuel, but we all also hyped up the Shanghai Dragons. How close of a match do you expect this one to be?
I'm not sure it'll be that close, to be honest. We haven't seen Shanghai play any type of aggressive style comp that New York just like kind of tried. They've been relying on a lot of, whether it's Orisa Diva, Orisa Sigma type of compositions. And if they can't make that work against Dallas, I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And we haven't seen anybody make that work against Dallas. I think their just aggression is overwhelming. So I actually like the Dallas Fuel in this series in a big way. I do think Shanghai is a really strong team. I think this is just a great moment and kind of meta for the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, I think that this meta suits Fate, I think, pretty well. I actually think he looks quite good in this setup. And I think his evidence, I think, was Johnny or Custer showed how he'd risen up the ranks so far since the start of the season. But the only team that Dallas lost to was actually the San Francisco Shock in the June Joust. And San Francisco played a lot of that Lucio Moira stuff against them. I think Dallas have run the gauntlet for like all the best aggressive teams. They dealt with the Mayhem. They dealt with the Shock, who looked quite good at points. So they're primed to take on this matchup. And I think it'll take more than Torbjorn to stop them, I'll be honest. I think that might even look gimmicky against the Dallas Fuel. Something like that.
I have a follow-up question. Do you guys think, we just saw the NYXL adopt the Lucio Moira. Do you think there's a world in which Shanghai tries to go toe-to-toe with the Dallas Fuel in this composition? And if so, do you think it's wise?
I don't think they should. I think they might. I think it would be, like, I don't think you pick that composition up in 5 days and just pull it out here against the Dallas Fuel. If you got here running what you got here, you may as well go down running what you got instead of trying last minute like, oh,
Dallas
like, I mean, what a panic situation.
It's going to be Dallas and Atlanta.
It's like you
then
qualify and then you're
that,
like,
they'll probably
all right, guys,
come back
we got
and
5 days to figure this out. Everybody start playing. That is no way to go out here.
Yeah.
I think you go out. You go out with what you got here.
In fairness, Lee Jagon broke records, obviously, for the amount of environmental kills in a map/series. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Control has in store for us. That is probably where Shanghai get to, show a little bit more of that stuff, and then maybe they go back to the Orisa-based compositions. Matt, we will have this conversation, but we have to cut away from this right now. For some reason, they want to put us.
I like talking. Yeah,
they want
to. They're such. They're nice. I know. Yeah. You usually don't, but that's why we like you, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Johnny usually calls him while he's grilling from the rooftop. Like, oh, what's up, man? Oh, yeah. Let me join this Twitter space. What are you guys doing? Listen, I think
Silver Spoon Reinforce. Only can chat from his convertibles and his rooftop while he's barbecuing.
You can't keep doing this. You can't keep telling everyone your colleagues are so wealthy, Matt. It just doesn't work. This one here, though, I think if you want to talk about embarrassment of riches, Matt, I mean, these 2 teams, they definitely don't need to take showers. They take baths all the time. You know all about that, I'm sure, Mr. Long Island. I think these 2 teams have everything they need now to exemplify their particular styles, right? If you're looking at, throughout the world for, like, maybe some of the best teams at these comps, Dallas definitely, I think, in the Lucio Moira setup. And the Shanghai Dragons, maybe. We saw the Atlanta Reign look amazing in Orisa competitions here. The Shanghai Dragons are going to have to show something special to do with Dallas, I think, in this current meta. And I don't think what we see in the first map will necessarily tell us the whole story, because, of course, Control requires its own sort of compositions, and teams do play more aggressive here. But let's have a look at the Dallas Fuel map. Let's reacquaint ourselves with our Melee champions on their second trip to
baby.
Hawaii, no less. This is a squad to be reckoned with now. Fearless, Matt maybe has a little bit less kill potential as Winston in this current meta, but he still looks incredibly good in that main tank position. And you can see he's ranked #1 in tanks. Doha's ranked #2. Oh, by the way, that's because Sparkle's ranked #1. I mean, this team is just...
Jexa's really holding this team back. #3. I mean, no, they've been dominant.
Yeah, look at those rankings.
Somebody asked if,
1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1.
And
like in the league, in the entire
this
league.
Would be a terrible way to integrate Pine into the lineup. But you know, they have the, and look, you've been rolling with this 6. Continue to play with it. You don't necessarily need a hit scan. I think that's been proven by the Dallas Fuel early on in this season as they lose Xe and now they signed Pine, but we haven't seen him yet. Shanghai starting lineup, nothing too surprising either. They do have some new player signings.
Develop.
But I don't expect them to see yet develop. Who are you recently? We'll see Fleta Lip in the starting lineup today. Not a bad DPS combo by any stretch of the imagination. I think the one knock you can maybe have on Fleta is like he's not as aggressive as like some of these other players, on the Echo. Like not that much of like a playmaker in that regard. But when you have Lee Jae-gun going for boops galore, you don't exactly need.
Matt, that's actually been Fleta's story since the beginning of his stint in the league. In fact, even before that. As a player on even flashlights. He was always, especially as a widow. I remember when season 1 we had this narrative. It was like Linksa.
So booping is basically where they knock you out of the map or lock you into an area where you just die when you fall.
But Fleta was always a player that was pretty safe, pretty
apparently
self-sufficient. Was never, never was grouped by bloodlust and would go charging in or trying to go for flashy stuff here. That's the kind of consistency that wins you MVPs, as we now know. This Shanghai Dragons team obviously still feeling the sting from their losses against the Dallas Fuel in the main melee, and they're here for revenge.
Assault,
this map pool will be interesting. It's loser's pick, and there are some maps that Dallas look a little weaker on with this composition. Dorado is one that comes to mind, where they sort of have to try to use the Genji if the enemy team, uses Widow on defense. So there are opportunities here to try and punish that lack of hit scan, but you're right, Dallas don't need it. It is loser pick in the map pool here, so it's not like your regular matches where the map pool's already predetermined. Shanghai can try and game against Dallas's perceived weaknesses, man.
Yeah, Shanghai does pick this first map as they are the higher seed coming in, so they pick Busan. I was going to mention this when we were closing towards the end with the desk, but there's not a ton of maps you pick where you don't value like speed and mobility, which you get with like a Winston-based composition. You can pick maps that are definitely not good for, Orisa compositions and whatnot with tons of verticality and, snowbally type alleys like an Imbani, let's say. But not a lot where you can really punish aggression and dive, where I think that makes it harder for Shanghai depending on where they want to go. So Dallas, no surprises here. This is what they'll play most, if not all of the series. For the Dragons, I wonder if they go with this ball comp, as we saw New York run a variation of this. New York ran it with the Moira in the mix. It's going to be flipped on the 76, so they go double hit scan.
This is
with the Ana.
Philadelphia Fusion tried this as well at multiple occasions, Matt, with the Soldier 76, the Wrecking Ball. It's all good until you get sort of snarled up, sort of on the wrong side of the map here. The 76 always wants to take an off angle, always wants to flank around. So that's always an individual that Dallas can choose to dive on. If Fleta wants to get the most out of the Soldier 76, he might actually have to play contrary to how Soldier will be best suited on this map.
Right, and I kind of understand what Shanghai is trying to do in terms of if you look at this composition as, okay, they don't have anything long range. They have the Echo up in the sky. We can play the hit scan, take advantage of it. But that's not really the goal of this composition from the Dallas Fuel. They want to pick a target who's, sectioned off from the team and dive them. And Shanghai gives them loads of targets to do
It's voluntary.
They go from one side. Yeah, they go from one side of the map, Dallas, to the other, just charging down players of the Dragons, and the Dragons aren't even able to flip the point.
Damn.
And because they're playing the Ana, right? The Ana is going to play off at a distance with somebody else. So you have one clear dive target at all time, and no real kind of counter dive opportunities. So Fate will go on, get a touch. You can have one player go back for him. It looks like the entire team right now.
They'll be doing that the whole time, mate. It'll be a death ball constantly. I mean, that's a huge pile driver kill, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that's massive. To get Sparkle, he was pretty low at the beginning. That's a sleep there onto Doha from Lift. So this is starting to work now for Shanghai. Maybe you can make this work when you get control of the point and you can start playing players at a distance and poking from different sides of the map. As you did have the Dallas Fuel end up using their sound barrier during that. So Nano and sound barrier available here for the Shanghai Dragons. For Dallas, you'll have that always important coalescence.
Yeah, potential nano visor here for Shanghai. They will be contesting with the coalescence. This is tough for Doha, Matt. Teleporting into the backline, it's pretty telegraphed and very easy for Izayaki just to hit him with the sleep dart. So, you know, Doha will have to be a little bit more creative about how he... You can't just TP forward like some team, like the Shot, for example, love doing with this setup.
Yeah.
Let's see what Flutter goes for here. He's already looking for that off angle, Matt. Attack visor, here it is. Coalescence is going to be in play, but Phil... He has to play it on line of sight. A defense matrix gets stuck in Flutter's face, but he puts the biotic field down, and now a primal rage. Winston wards him away. It's not enough though. Hanmin goes down to the self-destruct, and Flutter is there to test, strips off of Fearless. He pops out a primal rage form, and as the smoke clears, it's a 1-for-1. It's a big pile driver, but Flutter was not ready for Doha there. Perfect stuff. I said he had to be more creative, Matt, with how he sets up, and that was exactly what he did.
Yeah, and Dallas Fuel flips that. Even with being down in terms of support ultimates, enough to flip their beautiful primal rage by Fearless, able to knock Fleta around when he's trying to use that tack visor. As you all bob and mines here for the Dragons. And I think there's variations, we've seen Dallas Fuel at times, they've actually pulled out the Genji. I think this is one where, if you wanted to, you could put Doa on the Echo and put Sparkle on the Genji. Genji obviously very strong against hit scan composition.
Yeah, ordinarily against double sniper or at least a Widow composition, they'll go for it. Here they get a ton of value out of Doha anyway.
Ooh, that Echo.
But look at this, I mean, you just have Fate on the point. Like providing really nothing for the team in terms of peeling back. And this is the worry a lot of us had about the Dragons. Yes. Could they match this level of aggression? Could they play against this?
They can't.
They try something interesting at the start. Seems like some of the APAC teams, at least for Control, have opted to go towards the Wrecking Ball, at least very early from what we've seen thus far. As it doesn't work out there on our first point. We'll go inside to Mecha Base, though, for our second.
Yeah, so the woes, I think, that we teased out early in the round end up being a problem for Shanghai. They just... It's a pretty big vulnerability and liability of having players that are roles that by design are supposed to be playing individually. You can't be low economy here. This is what Doha does, by the way. So this is still a teleport. Izayaki's in, he can't respond to this. No one can really shut this down. And Void's mech was already super low. Easy for Doha.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, there's different things that the Dallas Fuel can do. This time they actually bring in the Doomfist. So I was mentioning the Sparkle on Genji, but you can easily put him on Doomfist, as this will be a Orisa setup here for Shanghai. Loads of damage with the Reaper in the 76. 76, though, just a sitting dog. So that'll be Sparkle goes in, picks him off.
I mean, it doesn't really matter for Sparkle, I think, who he gets, as long as it's not Orisa. Someone gets knocked up against the wall. The displacement hurts almost as much as the insta-kill.
Doofus is so
you
nasty.
have the Lucio here for Shanghai. Like, how are you disengaging with this comp? Like,
I don't know.
Against like a Winston Diva Doomfist with their own Lucio, like, you're not running away with the Orisa. It's and the thing with it is, Dallas doesn't care about the shield. Like, they will just push past the shield. It does not matter. This will be the Coalescence. You see the shield quickly gone. Everybody passed it. This will be the Dallas Fuel winning yet another fight here against the Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai, with this next go, though, they'll have an Amp Matrix. So you do have some uses for this, right? Amp Matrix with the 76 could really shred at range. You'll have a Supercharger as well. This could force Dallas to hide long enough that you could flip a point. This will be Supercharger first.
Okay, this baits the engagement from Dallas now. They're going to be taking a face full of damage. Jagon, though, a little bit too slow to keep Fate alive. The sound barrier comes just devastatingly too late. Sparkle drops in and then gets on out pretty comfortably. The Dragons, it's back to the drawing board once more, and they have used not one, but two support ultimates in that fight.
Yeah, and you know, they are able to hold on to sound barrier. That's crazy to even think about. Supercharger and then Amp Matrix, and Dallas Fuel didn't even use sound barrier, didn't even use beat. It's you can see Fleta really hasn't done a ton on Soldier. Been on it the entire time. 70% on the point. He's got 70% on his ultimate.
Doha, it's a second diva in play now. And that's a nightmare for Fleta. That means he gets absolutely nothing done. Also for Lip, it makes it very hard for him to penetrate any of these front lines with all this defense matrix in play. Very aggressive stuff from Doha there as he self-destructs, lands himself on the enemy backline, but it's instead Sparkle who falls.
This is insane.
And there's Fleta. The pressure from the high ground, the hit scan's starting to pay off now. Sound barrier on 3 players. Fearless with the Primal Rage. They do shut Fleta down. He had Tac Visor, but Lip's able to give a good account of himself on the point here. He'll be outnumbered for a time. Wraithwalk buys himself a decent amount though, and Void's return to help him out. He gets interrupted there by Sparkle, but it'll still be the Dragons getting back in the round.
That was a good death
Yeah,
blossom.
Dallas gets what they want there. They get to 99%. They end up using the beat and the Primal Rage to extend it. And I wonder if you see Sparkle swap now that they have the Wrecking Ball in play. You can opt to stay on the Doomfist though. We all know Doomfist can just rocket punch, get a one-shot out of nowhere. In the scenario where you're 99% on the point, you could opt to just keep going for it. You know, one punch onto you know, Izayaki or even a Fleta ends this game in Dallas's favor.
And Dallas still have the anti-ball tech because Doha's the one that switches to the Reaper off the Echo. Despite this, not a great start to the fight there. You see the Sparkle constantly looking for a target. They've already found one.
Sparkle is behind Shanghai at this point, so
yes.
this
Nothing
is,
stealthier
this is
than a
Shanghai
1,000-pound gauntlet hanging off you.
So they haven't gotten a kill, so not going to be able to, like, you know, spawn camp somebody. But he could come flying over the top here from behind.
It does, but it doesn't exactly look as imposing.
Picks the wrong side.
Yeah, as I thought it would be. Okay, tries for a seismic slam there, gets nothing. Okay, Meteor Strike gets in the kill on Izayaki. That's huge. Nice little finisher shot there, and Sparkle's found himself 2 kills. Yep, all the tech in the world won't save you there. Sorry, mate, he knows what happened. It doesn't matter. Shanghai are in dire straits here. It really is just fate as he just works his way around the point. Again, that anti-ball tech is there. Doha causing problems. Death also creates that space now. Attack Visor could still be an issue if this Winston Bubble goes down, but Fleta, there's too much to protect the rest of the Dallas Fuel. And now to be Void to dip his toes in, Matt. This is the Dallas Fuel looking mighty fine on Busan.
Clean. And that is a Shanghai Dragons map pick.
Oh, man.
That is the control they wanted to go to. So I think you have to worry with how things have started here for Shanghai. What do they go to in terms of map? It'll be interesting. You know, you play the 76 because he's the most mobile out of the hit scans in the pool, where you know, if you were to go to like an Ashe or a McCree, that becomes even more of a dive target there for the Dallas Fuel. So I think you're going to have to see them try and pull out something like with a Torbjorn if they want to really make an impact in the series.
Good start here for the Dallas Fuel. As we expected, they're sticking to their guns. Now, do the Dragons have a bigger gun? Or a sword? Shurikens? A bow and arrow? Something else they're going to have to find in the bag of tricks here as we head into the map 2. Stick around. This is the Overwatch League June Joust.
Let's go. Dallas Fuel, baby.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile.
Let's go. I
Largest and
want
fastest voice. Set your sights on the
to look at my
competition with
display
T-Mobile.
settings. It feels fucking up for some
And by
reason.
Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
This is the game of basketball. Poetry in motion. Legend burned into imagination. This game takes everything you give and gives back even more. This is a singular moment becoming a blueprint. Selflessness recognized. The fight of a lifetime. It breaks
The
hearts,
fight
bends
of a
minds,
lifetime.
That's bigger than basketball. game.
Hey stock footage friends, I'm having trouble leveling up in my ranked games. What do you guys suggest?
I think I've got just the prescription.
I switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month.
Your Battle.net account. You can spend your tokens on legendary skins as well as earn new sprays and Overwatch League skins for tuning into tournament matches. With Overwatch League perks by T-Mobile, you'll slay your ranked games, giving you more time to do the things you love. Like eating a hamburger, shirtless, at your computer. Eating a salad with your bare hands, shirtless at your computer. Or eating a whole turkey leg, also shirtless, at your computer. Overwatch League perks by T-Mobile. They make everything better.
My job is to help the gladiators find competitive.
Gladiators. So I think it's gonna be another short match of the Dallas Fuel just destroying the Shanghai Dragons. Shadowlands. They do need to nerf Echo. I mean, she's really OP. Oh, I was gonna get control. Oh. There we go. Torbjorn looks happy. Just chilling.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Oh, talk about it. Heavy hitter. Matt, wrap your peepers around this one, mate. This is Void. And, wow. MVP finalist in 2020. He's a role star for 2020. That means that carries into this year. 2020 All-Star, May Melee Countdown Cup champion, and, of course, #1 in total eliminations in the 2020 season. If you're looking for someone to really make a difference as the jack of all trades, Void is your man.
Oh, insane player. I actually thought, I mean, he probably, at least in my opinion, should have been, you know, I thought he was like the MVP last year. I thought he was that good of a player, and I think definitely was like above some of the others in that role of the off-tank, especially on the Sigma
Volskaya.
in Diva. It'll be Shanghai's map pick. They go to Volskaya. So this can be a little bit more punishing for like dive comps, or you can play some of the Ashe on the high ground, play at a distance. In with our map leaderboard here, presented by Xfinity, it's not been good for Shanghai. So they have to have something here planned specifically to pull out that they can think stops Dallas Fuel's aggression.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this hasn't been historically a bad map at all for Dallas, right? I feel like this is definitely Shanghai trying to, you know, choose something that they're more comfortable on, but there's a sense where Dallas can kind of still play much the same way here, maybe with a little bit more finesse when it comes to, you know, trying to dig the Shanghai out of defensive positions here. But the Dallas Fuel look like they're very confident. They're in control of their team composition here. Shanghai will likely, Matt, show us something different. You know, it was said that Void's Sigma play specifically is going to be one of their real keys to victory here. And you can see that in the June Joust, these are our out-of-rotation heroes, so that's why we're seeing so much of this wrecking ball here. Shanghai persist, though. They go with the legs, the double hit scan set up, but more defensive slanted now with the McCree.
Sparkle on the Genji.
Defense, man. This is, to my eyes, strange. This is what we saw from Paris at times, I think.
Yeah, we've seen Wrecking Ball defenses in our first tournament in the main Melee, and we've seen it on Volskaya. But with the hero pool and kind of everything that's cropped up, we've seen it move away. I'm also interested what the Lucio gives you here for DJ God. Like, what are you getting with the speed? Like, you know, you're gonna try and like run some of these DPS away. As this is an adjustment that I said Dalusio could make. I mentioned it during map 1, but Sparkle on the Genji, if they want to play some of this hit scan stuff, you can definitely play Genji. I'm almost more surprised, Mitch, that if you're Shanghai, you don't run something like a Mercy on defense. You know, pocket one of these hit scans, you know, being able to have a res if you have one of these players play the point or get dove. The damage boost, right?
It is because I think Izzyaki thinks he can play very safely and be very hard to dive. That's also why teams play it sometimes defensively on Eichenwald right now, right back in that hunting lodge, like at the back of point A on defense. So that's the only thing I can think of.
What's going to happen is Fielder's going to get Coalescence, and then they're going to dive up on the high ground and just hunt one of these players down. And Fleta's going to be the choice target.
Well, they did that. Let's see how that goes. The Shanghai Dragons are ready for it, though, Matt. They give ground, and defensive is the name of the game here because Lip just gobbles up Doha, and that's it. Sparkle finds Fleta for sure, but there's not really much more to be done. That high ground was uncontested, and Sparkle's dead to a flash there. That's a flash to the ground.
Yeah, so Fleta just runs around in a circle, and then the big kill is the one on the Doha, takes him out as he's trying to go towards that high ground. So you do win a fight here if you're the Shanghai Dragons. You do have a nano boost now. You know, nano boost, Deadeye. You have you know, mines. So we'll take a look at a replay here from Lip's POV.
Goodbye to grenade.
Those shots are huge because he is also below 50% HP. That focusing beam could have taken him out pretty quick.
Yeah, Izzyaki keeps him alive there. Fearless taken down by Void, and Fate taking his time now. This is a nasty room for a minefield. Forced fade from Fielder already, and this is where the field might start to run into some problems back, because the backline of the Dragons are playing not one, but two Winston jumps away from the field. So you can't just use one Winston jump and get on them here.
No, you have another Coalescence, though. As Fate tries to play in the choke, put some pressure on Fearless coming back.
It's so annoying.
That'll be the minefield.
Now, that won't bother the field too much here. I think, eventually Izzyarki's going to struggle. Sparkle would not be denied. That high ground pressure finally pays off as the Dragons buckle at the knees. And Dallas have some kills.
It feels like it's inevitable. Yeah, it's you remember back, obviously like GOATs, right? But I even think like Sombra compositions, right? Where like even if it doesn't look good at the beginning, you know once they get EMP and they're able to force that, like it's gonna be a fight win. Eventually, you realize they're going to get a fight win here. So they'll actually have Izzyaki go from Ana over to Moira, and then they'll bring in Lip now on a Reaper. You're going to have, look at this. You have Blade, you have Sound Barrier, a duplicate here. So much for Dallas to work with.
Sticking on the Soldier 76, fascinating. Let's see what Fleta can do with the tactical visor now. He had to get creative with the positioning, there's no doubt, but the Blade is coming for you. Sparkle makes Fleta look like he's been hit by a cat of nine tails. But Sparkle at more like 9 lives. Bomb throw to the backside here, and he'll sit safe now as Fate really doesn't have much to do. This is looking dangerous now for the Shanghai Dragons. A little bit of time gets bought by Fate, but this time Sparkle is canny enough to block the flashbang. Clearly, Fleta feeling the pressure now, switching to a different kind of hit scan hero. Lip has to use Wraithwalk. This is dangerous now because that Cole's going to be waiting for him as soon as he pops out. Fielder looking, hunting. Fleta is down. Jaxa gets right in the face of Void, and it's going to be a power drive on the point for Fate. A minefield to back it up, but still the Fuel can capture this point, tiptoeing around the explosives. That self-destruct just makes it so much nastier, and that's a great Winston bubble by Fearless to break a bunch of those mines just from the bubble itself. Beautiful stuff from Dallas, Matt. And you're right, that feeling of inevitability, the Damocles sword effect of the Dallas Fuel's dive is definitely an issue.
Yeah.
I can't
Dallas
speak.
Fuel's
And you see the
so
tack
good.
visor on the flank. They run it with a Sound Barrier, Blade, and a Primal, and Flood is dead instantly. I don't know if you can like, let's say Shanghai is not able to break this here. what do you do? And this is something that we had talked about. You know, I think it was
what is
it may
the
have
answer
been
to
Vast
Dallas
that brought
Field's
it up.
group?
But like, how does it seem like Shanghai or even NYXL practice for a composition like this during the week? Nobody in the APAC region is running it to really at all, but also at not this high a level.
Yeah.
So you can have another team replicate it, but they're not going to play it to the strategy. A lot of teams in APAC, like, they were playing a lot of
I know that
Ash and,
Philly don't play it.
Winston-based comps.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, maybe it's just not all that commonly.
It's not as prevalent in APAC as it was in.
I mean, maybe
NA.
Jack could probably let us know if he's seen it. I guess a bunch, but no, from the VODs that I've seen, at least, Matt, not so much. So, I mean, this is crazy. We've been seeing a ton of it here in the West, and we're so used to it. But perhaps the Dragons a little bit unsure about the best way to deal with it. What do you make of this composition? The Brigitte Moira?
Okay, so they'll actually bring out the Torbjorn. Which, if you're going to bring out the Torb, you could have went full out on the counter dive and played like the Orisa. And you know how good Void Sigma is. You could have tried to play the double shield. The Torb is pretty good, though, against like a Doomfist, right? The Doom can't shoot at range. This will be a dive, though, that gets off right away, though. And you're constantly fighting these, Mitch, though, with a player down. Like, Fate comes in with a pile driver there towards the end.
He has to go, yeah.
But for a solid, like, 8 to 10 seconds, you are fighting that a player down, which you're not always going to leave that with everybody at full strength.
All right, dueling coalescences here, but Fearless goes down too early. Yeah, Izayaki with a Brig just builds that ultimate so quickly. Fielder was a second too late, and they lose their main tank as a result. Flatter, though, is in deep trouble. With Izayaki falling now, this might have stalled out for Shanghai. This could be over.
Yeah, and it'll be Lip who's still here, though. Lip and Fate. That'll be a duplicating self-destruct over the top. You're going to get close to another coalescence here, though, because you've had Hanbin take a ton of damage. Hanbin will have his own self-destruct. You'll have a sound barrier here as well for Dallas. So even if they came in fast, you could still fight this.
Molten Core up for Flatter now. Plenty of shields in his way, and that sound barrier could be an issue. Dallas buying some time for Doha to return. Here's another self-destruct to force some positioning, and Flatter lets the magma go. It's going to be, Hanbin to find him with the self-destruct, though, Matt.
Yeah, I was going to say, Fearless with the Primal knocking players towards the self-destruct. You end up losing Fleta when he's still using his Molten Core. So you don't get a full use out of the Molten Core. And look at this. Fielder's
he barely
got another
had
here to kick off this next
lava,
one.
like right here.
I think if you're Shanghai and you want to play the Torb and you don't want to play Echo and you want to play Torb Reaper, like, commit with the Orisa. I don't know if you're getting the value out of this Wrecking Ball as you may perceive.
Fate's still looking for that value, though, Matt. This time it's a minefield on the point. Fielder has Cole. Bit of a flanking play here. They might have caught the Dragons by surprise, but Shanghai folds into that left side room. Tara down for Fleta here. He doesn't have that to work with. And Sparkle constantly repositioning here, causing some headaches for Shanghai. Void very much on an island there, literally, figuratively, trying to deal with most of the fuel. And, oh dear, Sparkle, he's causing so many problems now. This is what happens, man. But when the Wolf gets into the panic with the sheep.
Look at where Sparkle is playing, and the Diva and the Ball are on the point. If you're gonna take your defense matrix and what could possibly be a shield or whatnot,
Dallas is
away
so
from the rest of the
ridiculous.
team, you're just creating an
about to
easy
win.
dive target advantage. And Dallas doesn't care. They just they pick up this composition from Dallas is designed to pick up kills quickly. They can get the kills fast and double back to the point. It doesn't matter to the Dallas Fuel if there's players putting pressure on the point. It's looking like Dallas potentially gets this hold here. Shanghai has some stuff to work with, but it's going to be tough.
Fate knocked away. Again, tries to give it a bit of a tickle. Fearless is knocked off course, in fairness, from Void, but here we go. Sound barrier, Molten Core. Fearless trying to skirt around the edges of it for the time being. Try and find a way for this Primal to make sense, and keeping him alive, I say, is a pretty good reason to use it. He'll catch Void. Void trying to get away. Oh my god, he gets caught inside some of that self-destruct damage because Fearless was juggling him there, so that's going to take a bit to heal up. Good coalescence from Izzyaki. Comes late in the fight, which benefits the Dragons now.
Void
They
with
finally
the
catch a
dude,
couple
the
kills.
2K.
Void self-destruct gets rid of Fearless and Sparkle. Two of the most menacing players so far for Dallas on this round, and the Dragons will finally get point A. Just.
Just. I think that's kind of the best way to put it. Is with no time remaining, Shanghai will take point A. Already behind in time bank. Dallas, they'll have a duplicate for this fight. Some ultimates, though, for Shanghai to be able to maybe try and get a fast attack, as the duplicate comes out straight away. Sparkle into the back line does so much damage on both supports already. They have to back up.
Okay, don't think Doha got that self-destruct where he wanted it there. A little bit of a tilt at the head, but still, it's a duplicated one. Easy
But they had to use beat, and they never even get close to the point.
I mean, Fate, does it count if Fate does? Probably not. I guess he gets there, tries to make his mark, but really the Wrecking Ball seems... It seems that... I wonder why...
Well,
carry on.
Fate also has a good Orisa, like a very strong Orisa. So, like, you know, if you were to play him on that, like, maybe you're able to make something happen as the minefield comes out.
Izzyaki Coalescence is holding it now, though. Fielder obviously not not so inclined. Fearless goes down. It could be a little bit dicey. Sparkle falls even through Coalescence. Tries to look for something in the absence of Fearless. Doesn't get it. Fearless has spawned back into the fight now, and that's a good time. Sound barrier just to keep Doha alive. If anything, Lip's going to be inside that defense matrix for the most part, and Hanbing's doing a great job of mitigating damage in the absence of the Winston. The Dragons, though, they're still posted up on this point. They'll need to be shifted by force. Fletter's turret goes down, and Fate's doing a good job of getting into the backline here, but really not doing any lasting damage. Self-destruct, that's a second tick now for the fuel they have to touch, and here they come. Duplicated Diva going to come into play now, and here drops Fearless. Minefield on the point. Fearless caught in the corner, can't get away. Great pile driver follow-up from Fate, but there's more work that needs to be done, and Jagon is down. Doha, meaning Diva, she's got the bloodlust, and she wants nothing more than the tussle. The Dragons can't handle it.
And Lee Jagon is going for Sound Barrier, and while he's about to drop the beat, Sparkle connects with a Doomfist punch, takes him out before he even got that down.
It happens.
So Fleta now he'll go over to the 76.
Oh, man. It happens more often than getting juggled by insane Winstons, I guess. That, though, is heartbreaking stuff for Lee Jagon. Known as pretty much a wild card, aggressive, and not always consistent. Unfortunately, that's really going to hurt Shanghai here, Matthew. 30 seconds left in the round. They can still depend on Izziaki's Coalescence, but that's going to be it. Fleta locks the legs here for one final run at glory. Cue the Chariots of Fire music.
They haven't even gotten to the point.
And Izzyaki goes for the coal. Oh, no.
It's a good start for Dallas, though. Even if they lose Sparkle, you force out the Coalescence in a defensive manner with Primal Rage, and you end up building up towards your own.
Self-destruct forces the Dragons out. They're quite split, actually. Fate doesn't have any help right now. Adaptive shielding keeps him alive, but this time Fearless won't be caught in the corner with a minefield in play. He quickly absconds to the high ground, and there's that sound barrier. Hanbin, you better believe he needed it. He was very, very low, and that buys enough time for him to get that kill. Fleta goes down, and Sparkle's able to find him here. Lip questing, looking for the damage on Fearless. Can't find it as the monkey jumps away, tantalizingly close to getting rid of the main tank here. The Dragons still have work to do. Void to the high ground now. Jagon booped off course once more. At least he wasn't trying to use that sound barrier. This time, though, it has to stick. It has to work. No! It only gets onto Fate. That's all that could have been managed there with him being knocked off course. And the rest of the Dragons couldn't get there. A nightmare for Lee Jagon. Two wayward sound barriers, and the Dallas Phil make it 2-0.
Yes, Shanghai is going to have to come up with something else. They do make it closer here on Volskaya, but it's still not enough. You're going to have to try and come up with either something a little bit more creative, maybe play the Torb with the Orisa and play really slow and bunkery, because I don't think it's working out.
Shanghai Dragons, it needs to be a change in tack now. Do they have a plan B or C, or whichever one it may be at this point? Because it looks like the Dallas Fuel are ready to deal with whatever they have, and this is not looking nearly as close as the main melee. Stay tuned and see how map number 3 falls.
The Overwatch League is
Well,
brought
I'm pretty
to you
sure
by
Atlanta
T-Mobile,
is going to
America's
win,
largest
but-
and fastest 5G network. Set your
So I was
sights
just telling my friend Jeremy, I was like, it's going to be Atlanta and Dallas tomorrow, and then Atlanta and Dallas in the final. So basically, there's the winners for tomorrow, the losers for tomorrow, and then the winner from the winners, so the top bracket will go to the final, and then the loser from that will play the winner from the losers bracket, and then that winner will go to the final, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be Atlanta and Dallas again. It's what's going to end up happening. They're playing right now. I was even joking about this to my friend Jeremy and cousin, that what if Shanghai loses on purpose? Is like, all right, let's see what they got, because, or maybe not on purpose, but they actually try to win to see if they can win. But it's also a way for you to kind of read your opponent, because let's face it, Dallas and Atlanta, they are leaps better than Shanghai and New York comparatively. They just have way better players in each of those teams. I think it's just going to be so ridiculous. Like, yeah, it's going to be Dallas and Atlanta for both of them. Two West teams. Hey, hey, hey. No, I don't want to copy video URL, jerk. This is crazy. It's been crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Well, if they win this next one, that should be it. I'm pretty sure they will. Unless for some reason Shanghai comes back and then they just change up the comp, decide to run something better. Like, yeah. Atlanta Dallas is going to be good. That looks nice. Look at those little baby waves. People just paddleboarding, surfing casually. So I guess they had the finals in Hawaii. This guy, he's a commentator, he's just chilling. He's usually the one that talks to the, I think it's Korean players most of the time. I think he knows Japanese as well, so maybe Mandarin. Who knows?
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game. And by NetApp, the official data management partner of the Overwatch League.
Damn, dude, imagine getting paid to watch boats. Couldn't be me. Anyway, exciting announcement from our friends at the Overwatch team. Crossplay, it's coming soon. Players from around the world will be able to team up regardless of their preferred platform. Console players will need to create and link a Battle.net account to group up, though. Celebrate the launch of Crossplay with a golden loot box. Yeah, we all getting that, fam, when the feature goes live. More details coming soon.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So that means I can play on PC with my PlayStation friends, which will be awesome.
I know.
It'll be to their advantage.
I did not try and do that. But I am a big console player, though. I started on console. I think it's crossplay. I think is just awesome for every game, and I'm excited that it comes to Overwatch now. But power rankings like PM Watson, Sparkle Doha at the top, Lips up there as well. We don't see a Fleta in there, and it may be because of the Soldier 76. He's 12th, but I mean, I think this just speaks to how good the Dallas Fuel players have been thus far.
Yeah, they're sick.
Lip was really strong, entering the tournament, right, with his play on different hit stance and other types of heroes. But man, have these first few games between NA and APAC really kind of showed, which composition I feel like is the best right now. You see the Dallas Fuel, they're chilling.
Yeah, look, fun fact, Lip was #1 on those damage rankings last week. So his spot's been taken by his opponent in this particular match. Here's the Dallas Fuel now. This surroundings starting to become a little bit more familiar for them now, as this is their second stint in Hawaii as they play on much lower latency against their foes via the Tokyo servers. Some sort of routing, finagling magic. It's not my job to worry about that stuff. I just talk video games. But
I can barely get the cable from my router to the wall. I wouldn't know how they route that from Hawaii to Tokyo.
Some degree of complexity, I dare say. Shout out to our League Ops team and the crew at the University of Hawaii Manoa for helping make it happen. Numbani, so okay, I did think this map would come up. This was a map where I sort of wondered whether it would sort of be used against Dallas to try and sort of punish them in some way. Is this our map leaderboard presented by Xfinity for Numbani? And you can see here Shanghai feature in 3 of these times. The wrong end of them, of course. It was some dark days in 2018, 2019. Last year, obviously, destroying Hangzhou. This is more relevant with a pretty similar team lineup, destroying Hangzhou. 4:26 on the clock.
I do think, though, we've seen enough from Dallas that they're not going to be bothered by some type of bunker setup from the Dragons.
Yeah, that's the question.
I think the Dragons are just going to need to play it good enough to get a win.
The wrecking ball, interesting.
It would really surprise me if they played ball defense here on Numbani.
Oh, you're gonna tilt, mate. I'm telling you, you are going to tilt.
I mean,
you're going to become my own Stephen A. Smith here in the booth.
Volskaya, I get it. Volskaya, I understand. We've seen the ball defense work on Volskaya in the past. Ball defense on Numbani, though.
Okay, so instead of so let's theorize, I guess, how they get value out of this. It definitely seems to try and deny that high ground on occasion.
And the Lucio again. Is the Lucio just to speed around the Ana? Like,
it could be also to try and kill her in some way or another. Maybe preferable if you want to disengage as well at times from this sort of dive and give your Soldier 76 better positioning by, repositioning yourselves. They're dealing with a Genji here, though.
Play the Ariza. Like, if you're going to play this, put Lip on the Ashe and, play like Ashe Echo or Torb.
Yep.
Torb Reaper. I mean, if Sparkle goes back and he'll play the Doomfist, as how good he is with different types of rollouts and punches. He's going to be able to access Flood instantly.
All right, so Doha on the right.
There goes
Lips down, gets picked off by Jexa there. It looks like Void's not able to protect him with that defense matrix in the front line. Izayaki, though, good on him. 4 shots gets the job done on Doha. Although Doha is able to find the D-Mech, and that's what leads to the kill on Void. And this is a short-lived defense if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, Fade will be on the point. He's trying to keep it going. I know Ball can just spin to win here, but not that long.
Spin to win, you say.
Yeah, there was a spin. We got the spin part. We did not get the win.
That's delayed. Yeah, that's coming by mail. Yeah.
So now they go. I find this so interesting. Like, they go double hit scan. Like, I guess they feel like is the Echo the issue? Now they play McCree flat. What is happening here? The Dragons, I feel like, are just searching for something to work.
Repairing the damage.
I mean, yeah, these compositions are just very odd from Shanghai.
Yeah.
Flatter on the Reaper. Fair enough, I guess. See him just playing around the bus there, see if he can find something. Sparkle, it's okay. He still gets insta-kills against some of these targets. He will respect those Hellfire shotguns until he's ready to dive in and make mincemeat of the Edgelord. Doha dives in. He's got the duplicate here, and it's how is Lip going to get value here against 2 Divas, man?
And
Dude,
he's
Dallas
actually using Deadeye there when he gets taken out by the Bunny Blaster. as Fate was doing the spin to win on the card again. Was not able to hold it down long enough. I don't even think you're going to be able to push this again if you're Shanghai.
This is getting out of control.
That's going to be 2 points. They actually push forward to try and do it, but Sparkle with a knock-up and knocks Void out of the way.
Sparkle.
Okay, so you get a kill on a Sparkle here. You're going to be able to, potentially fight this.
Why now, though? Why here, rather? Well, I guess they take what they can get, I suppose, the Dragons. In fairness, they don't use too many ults to get that. Losing Fleta here, though, maybe means, okay, wait a minute, we might have to take this a little bit more seriously. Because Sparkle's back. It's a 6v5.
Yep. Dallas has the advantage here now, and this will be a Primal Rage coming in.
Fearless, I don't know what he did then. It's like he butt dived, but then he sort of did a barrel roll in midair, probably to avoid himself getting headshot by a Lip.
Doha with the McCree copy now.
Deadeye from Doha? Surely not. Okay, Doha gets knocked out of Duplicate by Lip there. Sporting his own Roll Stars badge on McCree. Always
Who says Dallas doesn't have a hit scan? Just get Doha the duplicated McCree. This is so now at least Shanghai Life, where you put together 2 defensive stands in a row. And Dallas doesn't really have anything to work with. The thing though that's interesting is that between the damage that Fate puts down doing like pile drivers and then the damage that comes down from Lip, they're not able to finish off anybody on Dallas. They're just allowing Fielder to build the Coalescence faster.
Yeah.
Like, just the poke damage at range, with them not initiating onto anything, is just allowing Fielder to build up Coalescence. I mean, Fielder and Jexay are going to build it off of these pile drivers that come through, which there's no follow-up.
Yeah, you see though, Sparkle can't deal with the minefield map because Rocket Punch only travels laterally. You cannot get air unless you do like some Doomfist tech. So he would have had to have gone through a mine at some point to get a kill, and he would have died. So that shuts him down essentially. Fleta goes for the deathlock. To me, this is
answer to the
speculative.
Dallas may opt to fight out of this, as Doha will now do the duplicate. Yup, and you're gonna have Fielder
his face.
using his Coalescence. Yeah,
he's trying to get eliminated quickly. Matt Void realized that he may have messed up there. Oh man, Shanghai really. Okay, they stole a car for a bit.
They got super aggressive there, and I guess they didn't realize maybe that Doha was behind them, and he was able to come back and kind of counter with a big play of his own.
Fight. He's a non-factor right now. Fleta?
Deadeye there.
Oh, what? No! Oh! It might have been a fake forward and Sparkle hits the punch immediately. It's unclear, but that's a costly mistake.
We got to have the overhead map. Fleta is sat behind for so long and then comes out, but there's no sense of urgency to like get near the point. I mean, maybe you thought somebody else was going to touch, but they got booped, but he is sat behind on the Reaper for a solid 15 to 20 seconds waiting for something to happen, and it never does. That is a very, very bizarre way to end that.
I mean, Fleta, maybe not that he doesn't have urgency, maybe more so that he doesn't want to use his teleport.
I think it'd be so clever if Shanghai was just like using this as a test, because they know that they can beat the losers bracket, and so this is just a way to kind of test what's working against Dallas, so that the next time they play them, they'll be better.
I mean, Doomfist, all this
like
displacement that you get from Doomfist and Digma can really throw a spanner in the works of your stall plans. And given the fuel, almost 3 minutes of time back on Numbani is, well, it's devastating.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see this. Okay, so this is the replay. So you're going to see where Fleta is on the left side of your screen. He was there as Fate was like rolling around and stalling out. Just never makes it back.
Void leaves the point to peel.
There for a very long
he
time.
leaves the point to peel. And he knows that his Wrecking Ball's coming, but the timing's not quite right.
So now Shanghai, they look like to buckle a little bit. They'll play this comp.
Okay.
So we'll see them. Dallas will probably be surprised that they're actually going to mirror, which this will actually probably force some changes out of Dallas after.
They'll switch the Doom.
First initial wave of fights. They'll switch the Doom, and then they may actually put Sparkle on the Echo, but.
It might depend on Duplicate percentage there. All right, well, this is the Dallas Fuel's bread and butter in general. I mean, there you go. That's what happens to the Doomfist, I guess, in this setup. Nicely done.
If they win in the mirror, that's just the wildest timeline.
So far, not so bad, Matt. So far, pretty darn good.
No.
They're not committing to finishing
Yeah,
off here, though.
No, this is what I was talking about. They're going to have Sparkle now play the Echo and Doha play the Reaper. And this will be a contest with a Coalescence.
Fielder's low. He could have died there. He's just able to create the spacing, and Fate goes down. The Coalescence from Fielder, and just that aggression of his front line. I think Hardman was involved in that elimination on Fate. What a crucial kill, man. The Dallas Fuel are breaking back into the fight.
Oh!
Yeah, and Shanghai gets
They're going
to 91%
for the throw right now.
So that's pretty huge for the Dragons. So you get to 91%. You spook the Dallas Fuel a little bit. Now they feel like, oh, well, hey, they can play the mirror. They can kind of come back at us with it. I'm surprised it took this long to get here, though. It's taken this long to get to the mirror matchup. Because we do have this next fight kicking off.
Fearless of Primal could disrupt this. Yeah, okay, I like that he kind of tries to ignore it because there's always a risk of knocking the Death Blossom into his own team. He doesn't make that mistake, though. Good patience. Fearless starting to bark some orders now. Always the vocal leader here. The self-destructor over the top. Fearless, he gets away from it, but Fielder's not so lucky. Fade's going to drop here in the self-destruct. Might claim his Yaki. No, it's going to force the Fade from him at the very least. Flutter going down there to Fearless was crucial, but Void is at least able to trade that kill out, and now they'll descend upon Hanbin. This mirror, it's the bread and butter of the Dallas Fuel, but that doesn't mean the Dragons don't have a shot here.
No, the Dragons look quite good at it, at least thus far, which is not surprising. You know, Flutter, the MVP from last season, you know, the skin he's got in game is Echo. That tells you, like, what characters and heroes he's good at. And we know what Fade and Void can do on these tanks, so I'm not surprised to see them excel in it. We just haven't seen it thus far, as Fate gets dangerously low and taken out.
Sparkle getting a mech of his own here. There it is. No, Doha just... yeah, that's hard to deal with. It looks like Lee Jagon just tried to peel Doha off him and send him careening back into Lip as Lip came out of Wraith Walk. It's tough. Primal Rage and Lucio Boop with enemy Death Blossoms in play makes it pretty dicey. There's some big misplay potential there, Matt.
And this is where it gets dangerous for Shanghai. Because the good time is already in for the Dallas Fuel. You can invest, you can drag this game out to where you feel like even towards the end, you're going to have an advantage in time bank for the Dallas Fuel.
Fielder just used Coalescence, already a quarter of the way to his next one. Fearless there, trying to avoid the micro rockets, I think. Look at him duck. Look at how serious he is about trying to juggle Fate there. Sound barrier is going to be pretty crucial from the Dragons, but it's not enough to keep their main tank alive. Fearless, however, is thriving. The cart's on the move, though, and there's a disengagement attempt from Dallas. Still ends up with Fearless getting destroyed by Flutter's
They're
ball.
actually doing pretty good with the same.
This is not over, though. Sparkle, with a focusing beam, takes out Fleta, and then, as he's weak, gets the duplicate. So he's just trying to keep this stall going even further, as he'll actually make it out with his life. That's incredible. He is so low the entire time.
This is consistent with what Johnny said on the desk, that in their last matchup, the Dallas Fuel had a lower team fight win percentage, even though they won the series, because they just take so many fights when they can help it. Even if they don't have ultimates, even if they're undermanned or underprepared, so to speak, they take them and they build these ultimates up and they're relentless. They wear you down. But this time it's Lip that turns them into bread.
3K.
A crucial Death Blossom that Dallas were not ready for.
Yeah, huge Death Blossom. I think Hanbin is coming into that fight a little bit weak. The Coalescence comes out from Fielder, and you're able to get him right away with that Death Blossom. So Shanghai, after that little dust up at the beginning by their spawn, they end up wiping the Dallas Fuel through, and they'll take that second checkpoint. So now they have an opportunity here to finish the map. It won't be with as good as time, as you can see. Yeah, Lip goes to that high ground. Hanbin was, he was weak going in, Hanbin, and also trying to follow up. Fearless.
Doha just TP'd there. About as subtle as a sledgehammer as he tried to, I don't know. Death Blossom now, it just gets eaten up by Defense Matrix, but will all of it be cancelled out? Yes. That's a reprod that doesn't work out. Still, he gets it down the old-fashioned way afterwards. Finds Lip after the ultimate. And that self-destruct on the point there from the Dragons won't bother the Fuel much, as there's a Winston bubble in play. And Sparkle, he's Moira. Spray, Warrigo, brrrr, here's the coal, baby.
And Hanmin does a great job of once Fleta is out of the mech on the Diva duplicate to chase him down in the sky and take him out.
Dallas is just
and
so
you
good.
potentially see that Doha TP, because there's no stun on the other side. When he goes in with the TP and the bubble comes through from Fearless, maybe they can force a cooldown out or some kind of defense matrix, and he can raid form away to safety and then come back.
Somehow, Fearless gets a sick bubble time and it blocks all those sticky bombs. And its fuel finds Lee Jae gone here, which means that Fate is, well, he's in deep trouble. Fearless is getting pocketed.
Yeah. And they try and primal there, which leads you to believe they want to keep the fight going.
Without Lucio?
But there's no, like, well, there's no Coalescence. Like, maybe he thought the Coalescence was going to come through. You had the Lucio coming back. But, yeah, no use of any of those
Dallas
abilities.
is going to try to win it right here.
Primal for nothing.
Man. Okay, Doha sees that, surely.
He's going to get demeked.
Yep. And he just slinks away with it. What? Getting away with absolute daylight robbery, Matthew.
Oh,
It's Grand Theft Auto. He just steals the mech and he's piecing. Now a death blossom for Doha. He can teleport in, but maybe he just sits on it. The Dragons, again, starting to look a little lackluster.
Dallas doesn't have to engage here. I mean, Shanghai disengages, and
telling
Dallas
you,
just backs
Shanghai's
up
playing
they know
mind
they
games.
have the
Like,
block and
maybe
the
they're
advantage
just really
of finishing
testing
the
out
match.
Oh, the timing is too good from Doha.
That's their Coalescence as well, Mitch. And now you're going to have double support ults here for the Dallas Fuel, which is like one of the biggest win conditions with this comp. 40 seconds and less now on the clock for the Dragons. So this is series on the line. This has been a one where Dallas Fuel is, they hold here. This is a speed run. This is something I actually predicted when we were on Plat Chat. I thought this match would be a 3-0 in favor of Dallas Fuel, and I mean I said it when we did the pre-show that I thought this could potentially be a
your
blowout.
Preds are 3-2
I did not
though.
expect. No, that's not true.
Here's the call. Fleta out of play, out of line of sight for now. It's a self-destruct that's very defensive. That's pretty darn good. Catches Fielder there, who either didn't have the fade or the wherewithal to know what was coming. Spark was still going to trade that one out, though. The Shanghai Dragons get nothing for free. They have to pay with their blood for every inch of progress here. Fearless knows he's done, though. The Dragons have a chance to at least finish the map here, but that's all they're going to be able to achieve. And again, they'd be in a position where they must play for a draw just to stay alive in the series. Dallas is set up here, and they have every intent of knocking the Dragons down to the lower bracket.
They do have...
Yeah, that'll be Coalescence on the way out. This will be Sparkle with a duplicate as Fearless goes over the ball to contest.
Dex is down. Not a bad start here for the Shanghai Dragons, but there's more to be done. That's it for Coalescence. Yaki now has to resort to the grass for the healing. Fade's there. He's able to get away, but Lip... Oh, he wasn't ready.
Catches Lip and the self-destruct.
Lip just got blown up by Sparkle. Self-destruct. The free bomb from the deeper duplicate. That's ridiculous. Fearless now going to roll back.
That might be it.
Wrecking ball here for the Dallas Fuel as Fearless wants to stay in the mix, and Fielder is going to have Cole. Can he keep Harman up, though? That's going to be important. Yes, Harman self-destructs. He should be able to climb back in the mech now, and the bomb doesn't take anyone down for the Dragons, but it's fine. Sparkle returns to the fray, and Fielder beams them all
Dallas
down.
going for the kill.
Sparkle can play away.
That's
Fate
it.
walked off
Dallas.
the cart just to get the Doom Fist. He only saw red. The Dallas Fuel will take the series 3-0. Just over a month ago, these two played in one of the closest matches of the year. What a far cry from that game tonight has been.
Wow. Dallas
so I'm
looking
surprised with
fresh.
how Shanghai...
Well, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to watch those. Thanks for hanging out on this Thursday afternoon. Tomorrow, might be playing some Final Fantasy 14. Might be playing some Overwatch. Might be playing some Final Fantasy 7. I don't know. I might buy the Interguard just to play it. It's only $20. I might spend the $20 and just say, F it. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. As always, stay spicy, my peppers, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Serrano 786. Peace.